P.
We rolling? Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Not Guilty Boys, check it back in. You're now tuned in to the Not Guilty Boys where the law meets the culture. I'm attorney Michael Campbell with my illustrious colleague, attorney Andrew Wilkerson. What's going on, Drew?
What's up, man? One half of the Not Guilty Boys here. Elated to be in the building, per usual. Wow. Looking forward to this show today, man.
Yeah, this week we're going to dive into the legal chaos surrounding Diddy. Is it the beginning of the end or is it just smoke and mirrors by the prosecutor? Then we're going to cross over to the pond to Chris Brown and the legal troubles he got going on in Manchester, UK. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Young Thug and his statements to the media and on social media here lately. It's been a lot going on surrounding hip hop artists and their them being in the law, them being arrested. The Diddy trial is something that's taking front row right now when it comes to what's going on in the culture. He Diddy, a longtime producer, owner of Bad Boy Records, is now being tried for RICO, racketeering, sex trafficking, transporting prostitutes, and arson, amongst other charges. He has a 34 count indictment, federal indictment. He's been in custody at least over a year now, and he's in the middle of his trial. I think they're going on week number 2 of their trial. There's been about 10 witnesses so far, including Cassie, his ex-girlfriend, Cassie's mom, special agent officers, Don Richards, formerly of his Making a Band group, Cassie's friend, sex worker by the name of the Punisher, and Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi. Now, I don't know if you've been keeping up with the trial, but the prosecutor has done I would say a pretty good job in painting Diddy to be a bad person. They have went at his character. They have went at control. They went at his power. They went at him as a mogul. They're attacking from him just being described as just a monster, as Kid Cudi described it, a supervillain. But when it comes to the case, what's interesting about the case, I don't know if they're done enough to prove this case beyond a reasonable doubt when it comes to the charges he charged with. I know they proven an assault, but assault is not part of the charges that he's charged with. That assault that happened against Cassie at the hotel room. He's charged with sex trafficking. That means holding someone and making them have sex with multiple people against their will. Okay. And he's also charged with transporting prostitutes to engage in sexual acts. He's also charged with racketeer, which is a charge that encompasses all criminal charges. But I don't know if they've done enough to prove it. The judge in the case, Drew, I don't know if you heard this, but even the judge in the case told the prosecutors, like, look, y'all done enough to prove that he was controlling. Y'all done enough to prove that he may have a drug issue. But y'all haven't done enough to prove racketeering and sex trafficking and transporting. And that's coming from the judge of the case. So even though the prosecutor's trying to paint this picture, and it seems like they're trying to win this case through the court of public opinion, like Drew said, and I'm gonna kick it to you on this one, Drew. But like Drew said in one of our last episodes, the court of public opinion don't play no part in the court of law. What matters is if the state is proven to you, not just saying, oh, he put a Kid Cudi up there to say that he blew my car up or he broke into my house. What tangible evidence? What eyewitness evidence? What surveillance camera? What fingerprint? What DNA do they have to actually prove that Diddy did that? It's one thing for the state to say you did something, but it's another thing for them to prove it. What you think, Waddy?
I agree with you, bro. I agree with you as far as the fact that they have done a good job to lay the groundwork to show that he's a controlling dude, that he's abusive, and that just straight put, man, he's freaky as hell. You see what I'm saying? But as far as proving these crimes, I don't think they're doing a good job of it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong or just inform me. Is he charged with domestic violence at all?
No. The assault is not a part of the indictment.
Okay, so go ahead.
That's irrelevant. Go ahead. That's irrelevant.
So they've actually done a better job proving something that he hadn't been charged with than actually proving the charges that he has been charged with. Sex trafficking. Look, early on in the trial, I saw something. And look, this this trial is not being televised, right? So what we got to do is pick and pull from every resource we can that we see on the internet. Shade Room being one of them. Damn, Shade Room's your source? Well, they putting these tweets out, these texts out, different information out that we don't have access to. If y'all have a better source for us, then point us in the right direction. But this is one of the sources, and you know, as my illustrious colleague said, you know, sex trafficking is holding somebody against their will. Right. Well, Cassie came out and said that, you know, I'm always ready to freak off in a text message. Right. In 2009, Sean Combs, when do you want to freak off? LOL. Cassie, I'm always ready to freak off. Okay. Sean Combs, I can't wait to watch you. I want you to get real hot. Sound like you talking on a music video or some shit. Cassie, me too. I just want to be uncontrollable. I mean, it don't sound like somebody that's chained up in a basement and sitting on a dirty mattress, being fed a sandwich every 8 hours and just getting her back beat out. And I'm not trying to make a joke about people that really happens to, right? And I'm also not eliciting a statement saying that that's the only way somebody can be sex trafficked. I'm just saying it doesn't sound like, she sounds like she was willing and able, more than willing and able. She was excited about it. Oh, I'm always ready. You know, testimony has come out that she was, you know, responsible for some of the drug deals, for getting the drugs that she says they were on. You know, I don't think they proved the sex trafficking thing. To be quite honest, I don't want to say I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist, because maybe I am, just a little bit. But I think maybe Puffy may have cut some kind of deal to let them know, hey, you can make me look bad as you want to make me look. You see what I'm saying? You can make me look like an abuser. You can make me look like a womanizer. You can make me look like this control freak. You can make me look freaky as hell. But one thing about it, I don't want y'all to concentrate much on the holding someone against their will, on the sex trap, because you got to understand, they haven't proved that. They brought in witnesses that said Cassie and Puffy willingly did this with me. They brought in witnesses that said that Puffy watched this while it was occurring. They got witnesses that said, you know, I don't know if it was peeing in Cassie's mouth or it was some kind of, you know, freaky sex thing that was going on. But Cassie got up and said, you're not doing it right. Come on, man. Victims don't say you ain't victimizing me, right? And understand, I want y'all to understand something too. Cassie has already elicited the fact that Puffy gave her 20 million, right?
That's
Puffy
what
gave her 20 million.
Yeah.
Right? All right. It's number one. I don't know if y'all noticed, but the hotel that had that video had to give Cassie and her husband 10 million. Cassie's sitting up there with 30 million in the bank. Baby on the way. I mean, it ain't too shabby for Cassie. You understand what I'm saying? She living good. She had a good point in her life. She had a pivotal point in her life. She had a turning point in her life. Now, this is what I'm not going to do. I am not going to downgrade or dissipate or underplay or downplay the psychological effects of abuse. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? One, I'm not a psychologist. Two, I do empathize with women that actually go through enough abuse where it affects them psychologically, and whatever effect that has on them, that's the effect it has on them. I'm not going to antagonize. I will acknowledge that openly, right? I don't know if a victim taking 20 M's from an abuser. I don't know that. I mean, to me, in my experience, not being victimized, but in dealing with sex abuse cases and stuff like, you know, the like, the victim don't want no part, don't want no dealings with the abuser.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They don't want to be around them. They don't want to hear about them. Most times, they don't even want to have to replay that through their mind to have to go testify about it. You see what I'm saying? Right. Cassie up there with her legs crossed, sitting back in her seat. You see what I'm saying? Just laying it all out on them. Another thing, I don't know it to be true, so I'm not going to say it with 100% certainty, right? But she got to have some kind of immunity, bro.
Yeah.
She has to. Okay, so they did give her immunity. Okay,
they gave her immunity. Because
the way she knows too much. She's too deeply involved.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Her intent at most times was the same as Puff's. It is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So that's really what mens rea and committing a crime is all about, your intent, your knowledge.
Someone label her a co-defendant, basically. She's basically a co-defendant.
Yeah. So you done got 30 M's and you got immunity. Come on, fam. Like,
hey, you was a willing participant in all of that actions, what it sound like. Never, yeah, I don't never see anything where you was telling Puffy, "No, I don't want to go to the freak off. No, I'm tired of that. No, it's hurting me. No, none of
Fam,
that was proven by the state. The no, it was all willingly yes from what the defense brought out.
it says when the Punisher first came, fam, Puffy or they paid basically like $800 was exchanged and given to the Punisher. On the way out the door, she get the nigga 1,200 more.
Yeah, I heard that.
On the way out the door, Cassie gives him 1,200 more.
Right,
That sounds like well done, my brother.
right,
You beat my back end.
right,
Good job. See you tomorrow. See you next week. That's what that sound like. It don't sound
right.
like I've been abused. Come on, fam. Like you paying this man yourself. I mean, if I'm stealing them, I'm feeling kind of good.
Yeah.
If I'm stealing them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll see how it play out. You know, the state put on what I think they thought was their best case. You know, painting the Diddy to be a diddler, painting him to be a bad person, painting him to be a freak and someone that most people probably wouldn't want to be friends with. But having they proven him to be a criminal, that's still out to be decided by the jury. I would say no at this point. I don't think they proven him to be a criminal. Yeah, he may be a freak. Yeah, he may not be a well-liked person, but
Right.
has he committed pimping, which is human trafficking? It's pimping, transporting prostitutes. That's a part of the pimping game. I don't think Diddy's a pimp. I think Cassie was a girlfriend who was down for whatever. You know what I'm saying? Some girls, some women, some men are like that out there in life. You find in relationships where, you know, that person is willing to engage in almost any acts to please the other and to please themselves. There's nothing outside of this just being a freaky relationship that just strikes the conscience of this being a criminal act committed by Diddy. And Cuddy just mad, you know.
Hold on, before you move to Cuddy, let me touch on something, ladies. I love the ladies. I love y'all, black women, women of all color. I love y'all. But there's a difference in being so in love with a MFer that you willing to do anything and saying that somebody held you against your will and you were made to do things. It's a difference between being so infatuated with a man that you fall for the ookie doop, the okie dope, the ooh wop, the whatever. You see what I'm saying? And you end up doing things you would never thought you would have done. And a man physically holding you against your will and you being made to commit acts that you never would have committed. So just understand that, like, and that's what I think the issue is a lot in the world. Let me just say in the world. I think that a lot of women fail to acknowledge that they was willing to do anything in the name of love. After they noticed that they fell for the okie doke. Instead of just taking it on the chin, you see what I'm saying? Instead of just saying, man, I never let a nigga do me like that again. I was dumb. Whatever you want to say to actually hold yourself personally accountable, that don't happen. Instead, you say he was a narcissist. You know, he was mentally abusive. He controlled me. Come on, baby. Like, you see what I'm saying? Instead of just saying that, so understand it's two different things in the world. We just talking about in the world. And it's for damn sure two different things legally and criminally. For sure. You see what I'm saying? So what it looks like and sounds like to me is that Cassie at some point really loved that nigga, man. Like, she just really was deeply in love and infatuated with, you know, with the whole idea who Puffy was, being with Puffy, DJs here and there, millions being played with, you know, unlimited baby oil, you know, all the amenities and such. You see what I'm saying? But that's how it seems in reading the things she says, because I haven't been able to lay my eyes on her. But the way it seems is that she actually got love for this man. And another reason I say that is because she ain't really just throwing him all the way under the bus like most people would. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like she still has this natural inclination to defend him. Kind of. You see what I'm saying? Or maybe it's just the immunity speaking. Maybe she ain't tripping.
Sitting fat. And you know who's sitting even fatter? Cassie's new husband. He's sitting fat. They sitting on 30 M's, like you said. You got Cassie now pregnant. That's your new wife, baby mama. You know what I'm saying? You sitting on 30. You know she a freak, right? So Cassie husband looking at her like this, and she testify about everything she did with Diddy. He like, I mean, I know You ain't cutting me short when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? So Cassie husband sitting on 20 Diddy M and got the girl now. He the one who's sitting fat. But another thing, they called Kid Cudi. She was talking to Kid Cudi for a little bit. They say Diddy got mad. Diddy went over to Cudi house, broke into his house, hurt his dog. Cudi testified that he set his car on fire. He did all this and he did all that. But I don't know if they prove anything that Cudi said. Cudi just talking, you know what I'm saying? But based on what he's putting together, he's thinking it's Diddy. Yeah, it probably was Diddy. But
they ain't prove it, bro.
Did they prove it? Did they catch any of Diddy's DNA in the house? Did they catch him on surveillance camera? Did anybody see Diddy go in? No, they didn't. So, Cudi doesn't really help bolster or make that case any stronger than what Cassie did. But speaking of Cudi and moving along, one thing about Kid Cudi's testimony is that he got a lot of criticism and he got a lot of support as well. But one of his critiques came from Young Thug. Young Thug, basically called Cudi a rat for getting on the stand against Diddy. He called him a rat, a snitch. Now, Young Thug has recently called Gunna a snitch as well. I think he got this thing, it's infatuation with calling people rats. But when you really think about it, Cudi didn't really rat. First of all, Cudi ain't no street dude, you know what I'm saying? So Cudi ain't going on with the street code and the G code like everybody else that hang around Thug is. But second of all, Cudi just getting up there and telling them exactly what he know, firsthand knowledge of what he think, was done wrong to him. But, I don't necessarily think that snitching. Somebody break in my house, somebody set my car on fire, I'm telling the laws who I think it is. And I don't give a damn if a nigga say I'm snitching. I don't give a damn if the streets looking at me sideways. Somebody did some wrong to me, and I know who it is. Yeah, I'm gonna tell the laws who I thought it was. Hopefully they catch him before I do. That's why. What you think about that, YD?
I'm on the fence, fam. I got a lot to say, honestly. First of all, let's talk about Young Thug, right? I love that man music, man. You know what I'm saying? I always been a big fan of him. My fandom probably going down the drain a little bit, man, because it's kind of disheartening, bro, and it's kind of distasteful. Like, it's almost like nigga done became a snitch police or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like I think the way just say short, just the short of it, to me, in my opinion, I think he kind of, because I'm a Gunna fan, bro, and I think he kind of played Gunna to the left after asking to be this man friend in front of the whole world and still do business with him, which was weird as hell, first of all. You know what I'm saying? I mean, back then we didn't know it was going to play out like this. It would have been weird then. But it's weird as hell to ask a judge to still do business and be in cahoots with this man and then totally out the man. You see what I'm saying? That's super weird behavior. But, and I don't know what Thug is thinking, but, just the way he play him to the left and call him, I don't think Gunna snitched on Thug. I don't think he did. And here's the deal. As I've said before, Gunna took a plea, fam, and got out your way. You never seen Gunna on no stand. You never seen, it was how long was the trial? 2 years?
A year and a half? Long trial.
Okay, 16 to 18 month trial, 18 times 30, a little bit less than 600 days, right? You ain't seen this man on the stand. See what I'm saying? 500 days in the trial, and you ain't seen this man take the stand. It's like, to me, it's almost like Thug was just trying to be cool or something. Like he think it sound cool to out this man. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't never been a fan of trying to make people think you cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never had to pretend to be cool. Maybe that's part of my bias too. You know what I'm saying? But like, if you didn't think I was cool, I ain't give a damn what you thought about it, no way. You see what I'm saying? But it's like, maybe to impress the Dirks of the world or the little babies of the world or the futures of the world. You see what I'm saying? Gunna wasn't a partner like he was your partner though. You see what I'm saying? At least how you made it seem. So, to me, that shit was just weird as hell. And here's the thing, Thug, you took a plea too. Like, even worse, fam, you took a plea 29 days before everybody got found not guilty. I think there's some resentment there. You know what I'm saying? I think he feel like he shouldn't have never took the plea, which I think he's already said. I think he feel like he should have never took the plea, and there's some resentment there, and he kind of just on attack. You know what I'm saying? But understand, people, one of the things that you give up when you take a plea, you say guilty. One of the things that every judge gonna say to every defendant before he takes every plea is, you have the right to self-incrimination. You have the right to remain silent. Do you want to waive that right? And the defendant's gonna say, yes, Your Honor, I waived that right. So, nigga, you waived your right to self-incriminate yourself.
I mean, you snitching on yourself.
You snitching on yourself,
When you take the
saying
plea,
you guilty. So what is you talking about? That's what I'm saying. And that's why the people that go with that shit and run with that shit, the people in the Instagram comments, the people in the streets, you niggas sound dumb, fam. Like, I really just be letting it go. But it's like, nobody knows what snitching is no more. Everything ain't snitching, fam. To me, first of all, I wouldn't give a damn. See, that's what I'm saying. This shit is level. It's level, right? It's levels to this shit. First of all, I ain't finna commit no crime with no nigga in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not finna snitch on nobody. I'm not gonna have no co-defendants. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I'm smarter than that. I ain't finna have no co-defendant. You know what I'm saying? Bye, airtight. Co-defendants, 0. You see what I'm saying? That's how I'm gonna keep it. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Not too much on that. But another thing, I think that snitching goes towards telling on somebody that for doing something that you have an apparent involvement in. That's what I think snitching is. You break into my house where my 4 kids sleeping, nigga, if I know who you is, nigga, guess what? Double time, nigga. You gonna have to worry about me and the laws. You see what I'm saying? But see, another facet I got, another attribute I got that plays a role in this, I don't care what you think of me, fam. You can go tell another nigga whatever you want, bro. I'll beat you up. You know what I'm saying? Like I beat you up, fam. And then they'll see that the same nigga you talking about beat you up. Like, that's how I do it. You see what I'm saying? So I ain't really never had to worry about a nigga opinion of me or a nigga saying something down the street or, you know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't nothing I never had to worry about. So, but what I will say is, I do think, where I disagree with you, Mike, I do think Kid Cudi, and I'm kind of playing both sides here. I understand that. I'm kind of being a hypocrite here. I understand that. Because if a nigga breaking my crib and I know who it is, I don't know if I would tell the laws who it is. I probably would give them enough information to find out who it is. I don't know if I would say who it is, though. Why? Because I probably plan on doing something my damn self about it. You see what I'm saying? And I'm thinking down the road. But Kid Cudi probably did snitch a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's fine. The reason I ain't got no issue with it, because the nigga not in the street, bro. That nigga ain't no street nigga. Kid Cudi not no street nigga. And here's the deal. But let's get back to the topic. The prosecutor ain't got Diddy pouring the what they call it, the something martini on the car, the fire martini. They ain't got him lighting the match. They ain't got him nothing. You see what I'm saying? So they haven't proved nothing. Now, do we all think Diddy did it? Yeah, we think he did it. But that ain't the standard. The standard is beyond a reasonable doubt, which is anywhere between 90 to 95%, if you ask me. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't think they proved it. And if Diddy had somebody else do it, they need to bring a lot more witnesses for that. They need to show a meeting of the minds. They need to show who the meeting of the minds was with. They need to subpoena that person. They need to question that person and bring that to light. But they haven't done that. And see, these prosecutors are doing what most prosecutors do. They just want you to think this man's a bad person so you will find him guilty. They don't really, most prosecutors, in my experience, ain't even got the wisdom or the wherewithal or the skill to prove something to you. You see what I'm saying? And one thing that me and Mike have made a part of our mantra that resonates, if you think about it, simply telling you a nigga did something ain't me proving to you that he did it. See what I'm saying? And that's what 9 out of 10 prosecutors do. In all the cases, he did this murder, he was angry. You ain't bring no evidence to show that, though. But you gonna get up and say that in front of the jury. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta understand, a person telling you somebody did something and proving to you they did something is 2 different things. A person proving you they did something and proving to you beyond a reasonable doubt is 2 different things. So you gotta understand what the standard is here. You see what I'm saying? So as far as, I don't think they proved anything. I mean, because I thought the way they was going, I thought the nigga was charged with abuse.
Yeah.
Like how hard they went on that. But if he ain't even charged with that, you really spinning your wheels and wasting everybody's times and everybody's tax dollars, in my opinion.
Yeah. So Cuddy testified. Thug called him a snitch. One more thing about Thug, like you said, when you take a plea, you kind of lightweight snitching on yourself because you weigh your right to self incrimination. But also on top of that is that when it's co-defendants, and we've seen this, Drew, in many cases, when it's co-defendants on the case, it's almost like every man for themselves, unless you and your attorney and your co-defendant attorney is huddling up and put that play together, where it's not every man for themselves, where y'all on the same page and on the same team. But just to take a plea like Gunna did and say, yeah, I will agree to testify. I'd have seen plenty of boys do that just to take their plea and move on down the road and not come back to court and testify. And that's what it seemed like what happened in Gunna case. They made him go on the record to say all these things. Yeah, YSL is a game, just to get his plea done. That's a part of his plea. But what he didn't do, which I think is real snitching, is coming back to the stand and actually testifying to the things that you said in your plea in another man's trial. That's really snitching. So I don't know how Thug can have it construed when all Gunna did was took a plea. When he took a plea, talking about Thug, his damn self. You know what I'm saying? And the things that he had to admit to in taking this plea. That ain't snitching. But just, I wanted to touch on that. Moving along, a couple of more quick topics. Chris Brown charged with felony assault, grievous bodily injury in Manchester, UK. He was first denied a bond at first, but he ended up paying almost a $6 million bond on the second attempt to get out on bond. $6 million to get out on bond. Chris may be in some trouble. OCB may be in some trouble.
Yeah. I like Chris Brown, fam. I like his music. I like I like the art. Any artist, you know what I'm saying, that's truly about the craft. I like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know how they getting down over there. Is it Britain? Is that where he's at? Is it Great Britain? UK? Yeah, I don't know how they getting down over there. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to research that and look at that a little tougher. I think that I have looked and saw that the standard is the same. The burden of proof is the same. The burden of proof is beyond a reasonable doubt. And it's gonna be on the state. It's gonna be on the state. It's not gonna be on the defendant. So I like that part of it because every country ain't like that. As crazy as it sounds, some countries shift the burden to the defendant, right? Which, I wouldn't like to play with nobody but that seemed like it'd be a little fun, man, to kind of have to prove something. But, I don't know, man. That's a pretty penny. He probably made it back in one show, though. 2 shows over there. Because I think his tour is over there, ain't it?
Yeah, his Reason Bowl is kicking off over there. He's alleged to, in 2023, tapped the producer over there with a bottle of Patron, a Don Julio, or something like that. I think for the most part, Chris Brown reputation precedes him. I think he get a bad rep for what happened with Rihanna, and I think that kind of follows him everywhere he goes. So hopefully,
that nigga got the fumble of the world, the fumble of history.
Yeah, hopefully, court of public opinion don't get that boy tied up over there in them UK laws. Moving along, you had 13 Louisiana escapees that broke out.
Man, them niggas over there playing hide and seek, Mike. They playing hide and seek.
Them boys broke out of jail in New Orleans, Louisiana. I think it was 13 of them. They'd have caught majority of them. I think I saw an online parlay or something going over under how many of them will they catch, which is hilarious.
Whoever took the over stung.
I heard that they got a CO, the janitor, cut the water off so the boys can get out of there. So they arrested him too. So he really part of the deal as well.
So they Shawshanked it. They climbed through the tunnel.
Yeah, they went out tunnel wise. They had the boys on surveillance running up out of there. They were running like it was the Olympics or something, trying to get up out of there. But they didn't even go nowhere far. Boys went up the street to their homeboy house. One of them got caught sleep on the bus stop right around the corner. I mean, these boys had even, if it was me, I'm popping juice. I'm on the first
one of them got on live.
Yeah. They didn't do it right, man. You supposed to hop juice.
Boy, I'd have been in North Dakota, nigga.
Come on now.
Working on somebody's farm.
In Wyoming. Come on now. Yeah, with the Mormons.
Come on now.
Yeah, you wouldn't have found me. Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah. So them boys should do it right. Another thing, shout out to all the prosecutors, all the district attorneys who's been watching the podcast, keeping the views up. We salute y'all. I do want to inform you. I do want to come very closely to the screen as I say this. I want you prosecutors to hear this very closely. Watching our podcast is not going to help you beat us in trial. Okay? This has zero to do with your preparation for trial. As a matter of fact, as you sit here and watch this podcast, you are now not only increasing our viewership, but you also wasted valuable time that you could be spending in preparing for your trial. So please watch all 40 minutes of this show, because after I get done, I'm going right back to work, and I ain't missed a beat by spending my time doing this show.
Gonna go meet bro at the office right after this and do some prep work for a murder we got in 2 weeks. Listen, we had the Dawson County prosecutors. Shout out Whiskers. Shout out to Whiskers. You know who you are, Whiskers, with the mustache, the Yosemite Sam. Shout out to Whiskers. He put in his motion, the defense attorneys have said on their podcast that they have trials on this date, and this date. Also, you can see their, what'd he say? You can see their podcast here. And he put our URL, bro. YouTube URL in the motion. Like, bruh, first of all, I know you said around my client that this is a slam dunk case. We gonna kick y'all ass, bro. I'm just telling you that, and I'm gonna leave that alone. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad you think you got a slam dunk. And on top of the fact you thinking you got a slam dunk, you watching my podcast. So what that tells me is you ain't got nothing above the shoulders, my man. You ain't got nothing above the shoulders. You ain't ready. You know what I'm saying? You ain't, and guess it's too late to get ready. It's too late to get ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's too late. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool. You know, I am admired. It's very admirable that you have taken the time. You know, people paying you tax dollars, right, to beat these cases. And what they don't know you're doing, they can't possibly know you're doing, is logging on our podcast to watch. And if you'd like to be a guest after we defeat you, right? Just ask. I'm going to make you ask. I'm not going to invite you. I'm going to make you ask me. If you ask me, if you got the cojones to ask me, we'll put you on the screen, my boy. Whiskers. You know what I'm saying? With your whiskers and your boots, with the Cavaliers on them. Stop playing.
It's very flattering. Yeah, he put the not guilty boys. The not guilty boys to make.
The not guilty boys.
We have made the formal legal motion. Instead of calling us by our name, he called us the not guilty boys. Let's show you how we moving things around.
I'm glad you know. Yeah, it's Mr. Wilkerson to you, dog. It's Senor Wilkerson. You understand?
Show you how we moving things. And he's not the first prosecutor. We actually had another prosecutor in another case to come. Shout out to our clients, whatever. Come holler at us and say he want to come on our podcast because he know
come on now.
We cook it up like Chef Curry when we in that kitchen. He just want to taste. But you know, man, we want to thank y'all for subscribing, watching, and liking and sharing our podcast. Continue to follow us on all our social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and all the likes. Follow attorney Andrew Wilkerson on Instagram. Follow me at attorney Mike Esquire 25 on Instagram. We're gonna continue to bring these shows, these raw and unfiltered shows about the culture, about the law. And again, our plan one day is to be able to go live, to have live shows where you guys can ask us questions, and also to bring on special guests to ask them questions as well. Any final words, Drew?
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Keep on, just keep sharing and liking and subscribing, man. We definitely plan on having a couple candidates that are coming up in the election on the show to spit the lit and let you know what they standing for, what they stand against, and who they going against. I will tell you to pay close attention to who you voting for. You know, that's one of our first lines of defense. You know, we love y'all, man. We just we hope that you guys can benefit from this much more than we do. And that's from right here. So Attorney Andrew Wilkerson signing off. I hope you picking up what we putting down. And the only thing my clients have ever been guilty of is being innocent. Signing off.
Y'all have a good one. Not guilty, boys.